3-year review of the Titanium 125. It is definitely my go-to welder. I'm going to be going over everything from stuff out of the box all the way up to setup and testing it. Back in the day when I picked mine up, it included wire, and it does not anymore. So while you are there, pick some up. Make sure it's the flux core wire or inner shield wire. They do have two different sizes. They have 0.03 and 0.035. I would say pick up 0.03 because that will get you through a majority of the projects that you have. And my 10-second safety blurb, pick up some gloves and an auto darkening helmet. This is a Yes welder. It can really be any brand. Just make sure it's an auto darkening helmet. Now on the box it does say it comes with some consumables, and what are those? Well, that would be your contact tip. So as your flux core welding, there's a lot of spatter and it gungs up this tip and your wire will start to stick to the top. Something to avoid that is to use nozzle gel, which I'll put a link to that in the description, and your flux core nozzle. Really, since this is a flux core only machine, you have no holes right here for your MIG gas, so you really could do without this. These are nice for machines that have the capability to do MIG welding, so then you're protecting those holes. They still come with the same cheap stamped steel ground clamp. It's pretty cheap, but it works. Both the MIG gun and ground clamp have about a 6.5 foot lead, and then your power cord has about an 8 foot lead. Keep in mind it is 110 volt only, which might be one of the reasons why you're picking it up. Nice house power. Keep in mind with the 110 volt you do need a 20 amp breaker in your garage. If you just have a 15 amp, you will not be able to run at the highest settings. It will trip your breaker. Trust me, I've done it. Let's get some wire in here and throw down some more welds to show you a range of how it's still running. Taking a look under the hood, I've seen this system used many times. It's just a very basic, cheap wire feed system. Plus side is replacement parts are readily available. So this is a little tensioner guy, so you can put more tension on the wire if needed. And you can take this little cap off, and this is your roller, your drive roller. With it being flux core, it actually has some knurled wheels, and so that kind of helps grab the wire better. You don't need that type with solid core wire if you're MIG welding. Side note, but there are two different sizes. So you got a 0.035 or 0.035 and a 0.03. The wire I picked up was 0.03, so that's what we're gonna put up on top. So then that's shown, that's the smaller one. And put that cap back on, and we are ready to throw some wire in there. The wire has some spring to it, so just make sure you don't let go of the end until it's fed through. And something to help out is you can tighten that down, just so then this doesn't, unravel or unspool on you. Another thing I do is I always clip off the end. The on-off switch is on the back. Turn it on. Now the fan's gonna kick on, so I might need to talk a little louder. Just on the off chance that you're working with a metal table, just put the ground clamp off to the side. You don't want any chance of accidentally, pulling the trigger and arcing. Now, one thing is this does have a cold wire feed system, which I'll get to in a second. Before you start feeding the wire, let's take off the contact tip. And that's just so then it doesn't get caught behind it and ball up and create a rat's nest. So to feed the wire, you can either pull the trigger or you can push the little cold wire feed button somewhere up here. Right there. Once it comes through, well, you can, I guess to be safe, turn the machine back off. Put the contact tip back on. I usually just barely give it, a little squeeze. Put your nozzle back on and you're ready to go. So you're ready to weld. Now what? Well, you've got to choose your settings, and the settings all depend on the thickness of material you're doing. So for example, you know, if you got some plate, it will depend on how thick your plate is, and that's what you're going to go off of. Something I get asked a lot is, hey, can it do 3-inch square tubing or 4-inch square tubing? Well, guess what? It doesn't matter how big the overall dimensions of the tubing are. It all depends on the wall thickness, how thick that material is at the wall. And so, you know, this is some thick 1/4 inch. No, it can't do that. Well, at least it says it can't. So I've got some 1-inch square tubing that has 1/8 inch wall thickness. So obviously 1/8 inch, it's right in line with what this machine can handle. Put the knobs right at the suggested settings and you are ready to throw down some welds. These first couple welds are on some 2-inch flat bar, 1/8 inch thick material, and I stacked it up to a T-joint and just running a whole bunch of fillet welds. I decided to kick it up to 1/4 inch just to, you know, show you that it can do a 1/4 inch thick material. Now, it does say 3/16, and I do believe that for a full penetration weld, meaning the weld goes all the way through the material, making it stronger than what your base material would be. So, yeah, I don't think that 1/4 inch is all the way through, but it does, you know, it does look like a nice weld, and I'm pretty sure it will hold for anything that we're really doing here in our garage, right? Now, if you are having issues with your welds, it's just not turning out right, and you're using the suggested settings, well, check out my last video because I go into detail about some of the issues you're probably having and how to fix them. There you have it, just an awesome, great portable little machine. The power output to, you know, size ratio is really great, and that's probably what I like the most about it. And Harbor Freight is not sponsoring this video. I paid for this guy out of pocket, so there you have it. Honest opinion and review, go pick one up. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.